What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from Hypebeast. Is this just the start of ugly gimmick footwear? Data research company Edited thinks so, as it investigates the trend's impact on sneakers, formal shoes, sandals, and heels. So, of course, they are referring mostly to the big red boot that went hugely viral a couple months ago for a couple weeks. That hype has fully died down. Nobody really cares about it anymore. I saw somebody wearing them in the street not that long ago, but I think what happened is it was this huge viral sensation. The company Mischief did a great job on their marketing campaign, but the people who actually spent money on this had to wait months for them to actually show up at their door. And if you look at the secondhand, resale sneaker sites, the price crashed. At one point, people were paying like $1,000 for them, and now they're actually below retail, if I'm not mistaken. So nobody cares about it anymore, and perhaps they were never really meant to be worn. Maybe you can appreciate it as an art piece or as an Astro Boy fan, even though they have no relation to Astro Boy. So I don't really know what it's for, and one of my most viewed videos was surrounding the big red boot because it was hot for a little bit, but that ship sailed. They say, Edited, a leading data company that works with brands and retailers across the world, has investigated the staying power of ugly, gimmicky footwear in 2023. Hypebeast looked into the boom in October 2020, reeling off brands like Merrell and Subu. But in those 2.5 years, the industry and subsequent consumer has come a long way, welcoming Low, J.W. Anderson, Mischief, and many other notoriously irreverent labels into their rotation. Ugly is a strong word, and it's particularly divisive when it comes to describing shoes. One man's trash is another man's treasure. One man's trash, did I say I finished the saying without actually reading what it was? One man's trash is another man's Mason Margiela tabby boot. However, over the past 2 seasons, there has been a resurgence in creativity that's transcended the runway, gone on to become a viral sensation, landed in stores, and found itself on the feet of people who eschew a, quote, quiet luxury aesthetic. Think J.W. Anderson Willipets, the frog-faced clogs that came as part of the designer's men's autumn-winter 23, women's pre-fall 23 show. Whatever. Albeit opinion splitting, there's no denying that this level of fun has permeated the footwear game. Jonathan Anderson takes his kitsch attitude to his work at the Spanish fashion house Low, which I think is just crazy overpriced nonsense, which I guess is what most fashion consists of. Anyhow, where he has produced heels covered in deflated balloons and pumps sitting on an inflated balloon. Cast your mind back even further and you'll remember Vetements, highlighter heels, Balenciaga's spring suspended expander sneaker, and the Mischief big red boot, of course. Such shoes are often spotted on a celebrity, partly because they're the clientele who can afford said silhouette. But a lot of the big red boot, I think, was $300. The aftermarket during the hype, I believe, got up to $1,000, and now it might be closer to $200. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's below retail right now. So I don't know. Some of those other brands may be incredibly expensive and not for, a mass audience. Anyhow, but largely because of the virality that comes with wearing it. However, much like the dad shoe trend of the late 2010s, ugly footwear is everywhere you look, applicable and available to everyone of all taste. You can start with a foolproof essential per Edited. Quote, chunky sandals have been a fail-safe investment area over the past few seasons, with the inflatable trend giving renewed interest to the category. Upping the ante is the Barbiecore craze. Barbiecore offered mass market retailers an entry to the trend, with hot pinks accounting for 67% of pink sellouts of heels. I don't really know what any of that's supposed to mean. But I guess they're saying that these wacky looking designs are here to stay, which maybe for a little bit, right? And they mention it there. It's the virality. It's not really for people to wear. It's a marketing scheme, strategy, shall we say. I'm not knocking it, but it's not really meant to be worn. And even if it were, I think design as a whole, and this is just me, is getting uglier. Think about architecture, right? Even back in Brooklyn, when you look at, or San Francisco for that matter, and you look at like these Victorian homes and brownstones of years past versus these glass and steel monstrosities that sway in the wind and they sink into the foundation, right? You think about the Millennium Tower in San Francisco and 432 Park Avenue in Manhattan that have all these problems. They're complete eyesores, and the older architecture was just better. It had more character. And that's what's happening in fashion and footwear, I believe, as well. It's just ugly. So it gets eyeballs, right? Like, I mean, it kind of reminds me of the producers, right? You can make more money with a flop than a hit. You can make more money with an ugly shoe than a nice shoe, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm off base there. On a relatable level, brands such as Hoka, which I actually like, I don't think they're actually ugly. I think they're performance wear, very light hiking boots, but I'm off track once again. Cicely Banson and its Asics collaboration and On are having a moment of their own, each following on from the high-end ugly footwear buzz. I don't know. I wouldn't put Hoka in this. I think Hoka is like an actual performance brand that they sell at like Dick's Sporting Goods and real, Bass Pro Shop, like real hiking stuff for real outdoorsy people. I don't really think it's targeting a fast fashion hype beast type of consumer. Now, would they take that? Would they sell it to those people? Absolutely, but I don't think that's their target. I could be off base. Who knows? Hoka's strategic moves to broaden its customer reach have seen its presence grow in the market, noting in stock options at In Clothing were up by 154%, 66% at Zappos, and 44% at Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah. Versus 2022. Chunky designs are a fail-safe investment in the market, noting arrivals climb 9% in 2023, with sellouts already tracked at H&M and Zara, explains Edit It. And the proof is there, as consumers are demanding more accessible yet widely considered, quote, ugly shoes from the high-end street, per Edit It. Office UK has upped its buy of Crocs, and this is kind of where it all started, right? And I remember thinking, I don't have Crocs, but I remember many years ago thinking I would never wear Crocs, and now I might wear Crocs. Again, I don't have any, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility that it was a decade ago when I thought it was just completely disgusting and I would never wear. Sort of like the Yeezy foam runner that everybody made fun of and then bought, right? And they don't even mention the Yeezy foam runner in this article as being a pioneer of the ugly shoe craze, or the 700 wave runner being a pioneer of the dad shoe craze. Just my opinion. Moving on. Where were we? Office UK has upped its buy of Crocs this season, with arrivals increasing 63% year over year, with an expansive range of new models, including the Echo, Terrain, and Mega Crush. What we deemed ugly footwear 10 years ago has become the de facto look of a trendsetter, and there you have it. So that's basically them shouting out yay without actually shouting out yay, because they're probably scared to mention it because they think they'll get canceled, even though I can almost be certain that most yay fans are not ready, willing, and able to, you know what I mean? It's like these media companies are walking on eggshells, even though the real people out there know what's up. Same thing with Ja Morant, completely different story, but right, Nike, they don't cancel him because there's too much money invested in him, but Powerade, and they make him seem like he's this toxic guy when really most of his fans don't care. It's very similar to Kanye West, I think. I could be wrong. What we deemed ugly footwear 10 years ago has become the de facto look of a trendsetter. And now we're all wanting a slice of the joy. In many ways, it's a lot like quiet luxury. Both are TikTok champion trends. Both spawn from a need to face life head on, and both are about truly loving the clothes and shoes you're in. All right, well, I don't know. The big red boot was certainly a marketing phenomenon, and shout out to them for doing that. But, you know, the people who actually spent their money on it, I hope they're happy. You're not really supposed to wear these things, bro. It's obviously like an art piece and an homage to Astro Boy, but they can't say that because they'll get sued. So, I don't know. I think overall, design in many different sectors is just getting ugly. Or at least it's a trend right now. Maybe I can call it ugly. Maybe the young kids like it. I don't really know. But like I said, I compare it to the architecture of past years versus the buildings that we see now. And a lot of the stuff we see now will be certainly time stamped, just like the Victorians, just like the brownstones. You can pinpoint when they were built, and you'll be able to pinpoint a time range that these ugly glass and steel monstrosities were built, because that design is going to change. Hopefully it'll get better. Neither here, doesn't matter. Shout out to the big red boots. Shout out to the marketing campaign of them, because they blew up the internet. They made their money, and now a whole bunch of people are stuck with these big red boots that they're obviously not going to wear, but maybe they can put in a case in their house. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.